My name is Olga. I'm based in Munich. I'm working as sales engineer at Accenture, and my talk will be about using Ext JS 6.2 to create a web front end for data analysis or BI application. So I will talk about common and sensitive problems of all front ends for BI applications. How you would solve these problems using Ext JS, what benefits you may get as a bonus, and I will illustrate all points in sample application. But before I will move to the main part, I just would like to tell you like a personal story why I have decided to start this project. Before joining Accenture, I have been working for 4 years at different software companies providing applications and tools for data scientists or data analysis projects for different business areas, like for financial traders, for example. I have also been working in Volkswagen Data Lab, where we have been developing different data analysis BI projects for different automotive brands inside of Volkswagen, like Skoda, Audi, Volkswagen, Scania, MAN, Seat, and others. And I have been working with a lot of data scientists. And during this time, I understood that data analysis may be the fastest growing sub-industry in IT and extremely popular right now. People like realizing that without understanding their data, they couldn't make competitive business decisions. Oops. Doesn't work. Okay. So data science is a really hot topic right now, like in Germany. I guess all major automotive companies have created data analysis departments over the last 2 years or so. And we could easily see that data science is very important right now, not only by amount of news related to data science in different medias, but also by a huge demand for data scientists. Like job portal Glassdoor published a list of best jobs in US, and data scientists took the first place. I guess it's not possible to take such kind of statistic at LinkedIn, but we could see that amount of data science positions. Where are you? Data science positions published over the last months in US is almost 30,000. So both need data scientists. And all related industries are trying to adapt for this demand. For example, very popular online learning platform Coursera published a lot of new courses related to data science over the last year or so. Now it's more than 400 courses. Oh, I don't see it. Do you see it? It doesn't work. Okay. But what does it mean for us software developers? It means great news. It is, and it will be a huge demand for data analysis applications and tools. So more work for us, it's great, isn't it? But you may wonder why there is a lot of ready-to-use solutions on the market. And that's true. And I have been working with many of them over the last years. Some of them are really great in solving some particular problems. Others are not so good. But I would say that all of them have particular problems with their front ends, especially web front ends. Or I would rather say serious limitations. First, and maybe the most important, is a performance problem by visualization of huge data sets. They could perfectly visualize small or middle-sized data sets, but data set becomes really huge. It's always like a pain point. Another disadvantage is a lack of flexibility. They have limited amount of functionality, limited amount of user interactions, and to customize something or add some functionality, you need to develop special kind of plugins, because many solutions are closed and some of them are extremely expensive. So I would say that all solutions on market mature, extremely complex. You need to spend a lot of time to configure these solutions, and closed, it's not easy to integrate it with different current applications and systems. But at another hand, many businesses will be completely satisfied with so-called BI Lite solution, or would at another hand need a really custom, flexible and complex solution. That's why some companies may want to spend time and money for developing their own application and tools. Yeah, I just would like to come back to my story about Volkswagen. At this time, I have been developing web applications using Ext JS for almost 9 years, and every single time at Volkswagen, I have been thinking like, Ext JS would be a better option for our front end. And it was before Ext JS 6.2, so now I think that it's like a perfect option. And whenever you would need to develop front end for BI application, I would suggest you to use Ext JS. Doesn't matter if you would need a BI Lite solution or really complex solution, highly flexible and customizable. And there are the list of reasons for that. Ext JS has robust out-of-box components for visualization of data and data analysis results. All components are optimized to work with huge data sets and do it with extreme performance. At another hand, it's very easy to customize the Ext JS components and any kind of desired user interactions. But all this just words, and to prove them, I have developed a sample application to illustrate common problems and solutions. And the hardest part in this project, to be honest, was to find a suitable data set for my application. I had the following requirements. Data set should be public, big enough, and let me to tell interesting data story. And in reality, it's not so many interesting, big, and open data sets in internet. So I have tried several options, and I chose data from American Community Survey for 2013, provided by United States Census Bureau. Its data includes critical economical, social, demographical, and housing information about US communities. And this data is used for evaluating and managing government programs. This data is public and available to everyone. So in my database, I have data about more than 2 million people and almost 1.5 million houses. But of course, all data is anonymized. There is no any real name or address, only state. Data about people include sex, income, education, industry, occupation. Data about houses include type of house, if it's an apartment or standalone house, total household income, rent, and house owner cost, and property value. So industry, occupation, income, and rent is the most important data for my use case. The hard piece of every data analysis application is what question it tries to answer, what data story it tries to tell. And with my application, I have tried to tell the following story. Where should I live? What is the best state for me to live in US? So I calculate best state based on industry and occupation. It's an obvious question how I have done this. Initially, I tried to calculate best state based on the highest average amount of money after housing, like free money that will be available after paying for a house or an apartment. But then I have been advised to use purchasing power concept. Purchasing power, it's number of goods and services that you may buy with a unit of currency. In US, it's $100. So purchasing power shows real value of $100 in different states. It's very well known that you could buy relatively more goods in states like Ohio or Missouri than in California or New York. And this phenomenon is measured by United States Bureau of Economical Analysis, and they publish these values for every state. So I use, and these values also include data related to house prices, rent prices, goods prices, everything. And I use this value to adjust average incomes in different states and compare them to each other. So I will show demo first, how it looks like. You need to select industry from a list. Interesting point, it's information and developer, software developer. And it will tell that best state to live is California. But it's not like California, it's not hard-coded California for every case. If you are a software developer in finance, for example, you need to live in New Jersey. And if you are, oh, no, I don't want you. If you a truck driver, you need to live in South Dakota. Would you like me to try something else, some other combinations? Then let's go back. There are main functional part of every data analysis application. First, it's very often then when you need to display, visualize original data sources to let user play with the data. Second part is mandatory for every BI application. It's data analysis results, analytic BI data, and last part is data visualization, also very common. And I have all parts in my application. So I would like to go through common problems of every part, show how Ext JS could help you to solve these problems, and illustrate it with example. First part, visualization of data sources. Question here is how to visualize the data when you have more than 1 million rows, for example. It's not a problem at all when you need to visualize small or middle-sized data set. Any solution could be fine, but when you need to visualize huge data set, it's a tricky question. And what solution could come to mind first? Just load data set in a browser and draw a table. But even with the simplest HTML table, it will be at least 6 million DOM elements, even for 5 columns. Second solution may work, but only in theory. It's pagination, but even if you will have page size equal to 1,000, it will be 1,000 pages. And you could imagine that this option is extremely far from being good user interface. No one will have so many time and patience to click through. So what Ext JS could offer here? Ext JS could offer buffer grid with buffer rendering, and with Experior backend, it will be a perfect solution for such kind of problems. Who of you are using or have used Ext JS grid with buffer rendering? Okay, a lot. And who of you have Experior presentation today morning? Okay, then I will explain a bit. Experior is based backend that let you load your data from database in the memory, caches this data in some smart way, I don't know how, and responds to clients' requests immediately without database. So Ext JS grid with let you It lets you render only part of a data at a time, a bit more above and below to smooth scrolling, and when users start scrolling, new data will be loaded in a browser and render it. But if you are using Xpeeder backend, user may even not recognize this because it's extremely fast. How you can configure this? Yeah, pointer, still not working. Oh. So you need to tell that it should be buffered store, and you need to point URL of your proxy to your Xpeeder backend, and that's it, all configurations that you need. Of course, you need to configure Xpeeder backend, but it's also like visual interface. I'm not a Java developer at all, and I did it like maybe in 1 hour, maybe 1.5. Everything was done. So how it looks like. I have data about people and houses, as I told. So I show education, industry, occupation of a person, hours, working hours per week, and I show different kind of different sources of income using pie chart, salary income, total income, and this is row number column. So I can start scrolling. You see, and it's row number. More than 1 million records. Oh. Data about houses, state, type of house, count of rooms, property value, and in pie I show like percentage of full income of full household income that people spend for a house or an apartment. Like red, it's house or apartment rent, and green, it's total income. So also extremely fast. And we could sort, for example, by state. Scroll to California. Oh, too much. Yeah. What people spend for a house. Yeah, and you have noticed that I'm sorting 1 million records.
So that sorting is on the back end?
Yes, of course. So it's only part of data is rendered. Doom is very small. That's why its performance is so amazing. Was amazing. Okay, maybe it's because of this sorting. So back. What benefits you will get if you will use this solution? You will receive out-of-box solution with extreme performance for visualization of huge data sets, almost real-time big data. Filtering and sorting are also supported because Xpeeder also caches different sort and filter combinations. You could ask them about details around this. So second part is mandatory part, BI visualization. And question here is how to aggregate data to highlight hidden trends and insights, how to show your data in business intelligence to a user in meaningful and useful way. And possible solutions here is third-party solutions that you may find in internet and integrate into your application, or you may create such solution by your own, manually aggregate data and show it in grids or lists, or you may use Sencha Pivot Grid. Who of you are using Sencha Pivot Grid? Okay. A lot. So it's the same concept like Excel Pivot Grid. It lets you aggregate your data per several dimensions and show the result in a grid. How configuration will look like. It's simple. You need to specify what dimension you want to use for rows, what dimension you want to use for columns, what dimension and aggregation function you want to use for data aggregation. You could specify several dimensions. It's array. In my example, it's only one. And last thing that you need to do is choose matrix. There is two options. You may choose local or remote matrix. If you choose local matrix, then all data will be aggregated and calculated on client. It's a perfect solution for small or middle-sized data sets because it's fast, and you just need to do nothing else. But if you need to aggregate huge data sets like mine, you may need to choose remote calculation when data will be aggregated on server. Of course, for this case, you would need to develop web servers that will aggregate your data, but Sencha provides PHP example for such kind of aggregation. I have used it in my application. So, example. Yeah, I would like to show you like more interesting for us example with developer, not truck driver. Oh, not truck driver. Software developer. California. And analysis Power BI. And it's PHP script, that's why it's so, it's not Expeditor backend. But they are working also on implementing backend for private grids. So in this example, I aggregate data per state and per income segment. So people receiving less than 10,000 per year, more than 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, 150, and 200,000 per year. And in California, 11% of people receiving more than 200,000 per year. It's nice. Then second tab, housing. It's also aggregation per state and per house type. And I calculate average house price. So in California, it's 100,000, but it's in the whole California. It's not only Bay Area. And for standalone houses, it's 400,000. Purchasing power, it's the same like incomes tab, but with adjustment based on purchasing power in different states. PHP and MySQL. Yeah. So using purchasing power adjustment, it's only 8% of people receiving more than 200,000 in California. What benefits it gives you? Out-of-box solution for visualization of data analysis results. Any kind of custom aggregation. If you choose local data aggregation, we could talk about BI Lite solution, and you may choose complex, sophisticated data aggregations on server, and only visualize data in private grids. Last part, but maybe the most attractive, it's data visualization. And question here, how to create a custom high-performance visualization with rich user interaction. And the same possible solutions like for part, you could develop, you could third-party component or develop your own component, and it's the same problems. You could imagine how many time and resources it may require first to develop such kind of component, and second to support it in your enterprise application for a long time. And what Ext JS could offer here. Ext JS could offer D3.js adapter introduced in Ext JS 6.2 or Sencha charts. Sencha charts are available for a long time and very well known, so I concentrated on first D3.js adapter. Who of you are using D3? Okay. Not many. To be honest, I have been using D3 a lot in the past also as part of Ext JS application, but it was always a bit tricky to transform data from JS store into format suitable for D3 JS visualization, integrate D3 JS visualization into the system of Ext JS application. And this adapter helps you to solve these problems. And this adapter offers you two options, like easy and difficult, or I would rather say short and long path. Short path. You may use one of several visualizations available out of box. To use them, you just need to define X type of your visualization, bind your store using data binding, and maybe configure some styling options. And that's it. Your visualization is ready, and you could show it to your boss it's ready without writing any single line of D3 JS code. Long path. It's developing your own custom visualization based on any example from D3 JS sample gallery or any other example. There is an example of box plot visualization from D3 JS sample gallery. To use this visualization, you just need to copy code from D3 JS website to your application, add reference to this file into app.json config file, and then you need to extend standard D3 SVG component, define your own X type, bind your store, and add listeners to two important events, scene setup and scene resize. Scene setup is fired when container for your visualization is ready and you may draw your visualization, and scene resize is called when container is resized and you need to adjust your visualization somehow. There is how you may draw your visualization. Don't worry, I just copied this code from D3 JS sample gallery and just changed it a bit. So first part, it's D3, all this is just configs. D3 box will generate box plots. Then I specify the min and max value for domain. So D3 will know how to scale box plots. And last part, I render my visualization. So for this case, you would need to understand D3 JS API, but it's not necessary to go to all details. How it looks like. First box plot. Yeah, I chose this visualization because it's favorite visualization for all data scientists, at least all that I know. Since that they do its box plot. If they have box plot, they are happy. So box plot shows distribution of different incomes in different states. Like in California, it's mean and max value, and 25, 50, and 75% median. 58,000 means that 25% receive more and 75% people receive less. And 27,000 means that 50% above and 50% below. And this box plot data, it's not adjusted to information and developer, it's data for the whole California, because it was not so easy to calculate this data, so I used special language R for data analysis to calculate this data. So all other visualization is adjusted to this information and software developer. It's not American election results, it's just a visualization of average incomes. more red mean high income, more blue mean low income, and pie shows different income sources. Gray means that it's not enough software developers in this state, so data will be not relevant. So if it's less than 5, I didn't take it in account. So we could see that, for example, in Georgia, it's a lot of other incomes. Yeah, in New Jersey, a lot of social incomes. So high income in California, in Washington, in Virginia, low in Missouri. So next visualization, this visualization is available out of box. It's highest paying sub-industries in IT and average income in these sub-industries. So in California, it's broadcasting, internet publishing, I don't know what is this. It's official names from survey, web search portals, I guess it's Google. I don't know. So telecommunication, maybe you know better. Yeah, picture, motion, video industries. Another good state is Washington. Here it's also web search portals. Next part, it's housing, the same visualization box plot for visualization of house prices in different states. Average house prices and also average amount of money that people, average amount of part of for full incomes that people spend for a house or an apartment. So higher prices in California, in Hawaii, and I guess in Washington, D.C., it's not visible here. So purchasing power, the same distribution, and this is the most important part, like good places to live if you are a software developer in IT is California, Washington, Virginia, and not bad, North Carolina and Georgia. And if you will get job offer from Missouri, maybe you need to think twice. But it's data from 2013. Maybe something changed. So what benefits you will receive? You could add any visualization. You could choose any from a huge gallery. You may choose one of two engines, Canvas or SVG. SVG for user interactions, for visualization of huge data sets. You find your Ext JS store to your visualization, and you could customize your visualization as you want, add any kind of desired user interactions. And there is also a lot of utility classes. Like I showed you, base class for SVG D3 JS visualization, but there is also classes for legend, for example, for axis, for color scale, and some others. So as summary, I have listed all components that I have used in my application. So I have used buffer Ext JS grid with buffered rendering and Expedia backend for visualization of original data sources. I have used pivot grid for BI and data analysis, visualization of data analysis results, and I used D3 JS adapter for data visualization. So source code of my example is available at GitHub. It's not only Ext JS application, but also like Expedia backend, PHP scripts, and also database. And these visualizations with map and box plots, they are available. If you would like to use them, just feel free. So as conclusion, as you have seen, Ext JS offers robust and flexible front ends for enterprise data analysis applications that let you visualize big data sets and grids and charts with extremely high performance. So with Ext JS, you could add BI functionality to your application easily and use your data to make smart business decisions.
So have you had any experience in printing any of the data when you do some grids like that? Have you had to print? Visualization is great.
Our exporter will work only with data that will be loaded on client. If you don't have data on client, you couldn't export it. So you could print from Excel. For these cases, you would need to develop a backend solution because if data is not here, you couldn't export it. There is also, if you want to print in PDF, for example, there is blog post from Shakir.
You cannot have the exact visual, like there's stuff decided on the client.
Yeah. For this case, you would need to save state of your grid, what columns is visual, what is expanded, collapsed, and send this configuration to backend to generate this document. Yeah, but if data is not on client, it's not possible. You couldn't export what you don't have.
Have you ever heard about any project at Accenture to provide some kind of technology to print something out of the browser? It seems like the print is so lagging behind.
Yes, there is Excel exporter, Excel, XML, TSV, CSV exporter, so you could export data into Excel and print from Excel or HTML. Yes, or you could export in HTML as well.
HTML, when you print that, it's ugly as it's very ugly.
Yeah, there is no exporter into PDF yet. I guess there is problems with different resolutions, and that's why it's not provided. Any other questions? Okay, if someone will have questions, I'm here and will be happy to talk to you. Thank you.